Thanks for joining me. I want to talk about my health. I want to talk about my prospects going forward on the basis of the information that I'm about to share with you. This is a video that I have agonized over whether I would make or whether I would not make, whether I would share this information publicly or whether I would not. I've decided, after a lot of soul searching and after consulting with a number of people who can advise me on such things, that indeed this is information that is of interest for a number of reasons which will become clear. I want to make it clear that nothing in this video is any kind of accusation. What I am going to do is outline some facts. What you do with those facts in your own minds is up to you. You connect the dots in any way you like. Just the facts. That's what I'm known for. So I'll continue along those lines. Here we go. I am one of 7 siblings originally, 6 of whom survive today. 3 of us have had major, sudden, catastrophic failures of the physical structure of various very important parts of their anatomy, which could easily lead to immediate death. And of those 3 occasions, one of them did lead to the death of one of the siblings. Some years ago, this occurred. My older half-brother, who was 39 at the time from memory, had a sudden cardiac-related event. Basically what happened is that the major artery leading out of the heart ruptured. And that was the end of the story. He left behind a wife and child. So a tragic thing for a person of that age. Fast forward a number of years, another older sibling had a very, very similar event. In fact, he survived. He's with us, perhaps in large part due to the fast action of his partner, due to the advances in medical technology in between these 2 events, perhaps to a large degree. He had a tricuspid valve, or the tricuspid valve, replaced. He had a large portion of his aorta completely replaced with a synthetic Gore-Tex-based one. And he's doing well. His prospects going forward, who would know? He's healthier than he's actually ever been because he had this problem, I think, percolating away for some time before it finally catastrophically gave way on him. As such, well, there you go. 2 out of 7, very similar. There seems to be something going on genetically with the integrity of the structure of the high-pressure side of the blood system in the family. Fast forward another number of years, that is, and another sibling in recent times has had a major catastrophic event, a life-threatening event that could have led to her untimely death. Not the aorta this time, another major blood vessel, but the same thing. Tearing open, secondary problems occurring because of that, life-changing problems. Again, she has survived, she is with us, she's doing well, she's progressing every day, things are getting better in that regard, but there will always be limits as to how good she can get. 3 out of 7. Obviously, this concerns me deeply, personally. There is clearly a problem with the genes passed down to all of us from our father. Those are just the facts on that. So my prospects going forward, well, I'm of the opinion, or the educated opinion, I like to think, that I am living the best life that I can live and maintain that is best conduced to reducing the likelihood of such a problem. I control my blood pressure. My diet is as close to the ideal diet for a human as I can attain and maintain personally. I am a human being. I've never claimed to be perfect. I have gotten on top of a number of issues in my life, doing things that were not conducive to health. And as such, going forward, again, who knows about my prospects going forward, except for the spectre, I guess, of this genetic issue, which is clearly very real. That's the bit that's easy to comprehend. That's the bit that's pretty easy to understand. That's the bit that will have you going, wow, it's big. That's a big thing. Here's the bit that I need to add, that I suspect many of you will find it very, very difficult to believe. Indeed, those of you who don't want to believe it won't believe it. Those of you who do believe what I'm about to tell you might find this very difficult to accept. I've come to terms with it. That's why I'm now able to sit here and make this video. Here it is. In the mid-1950s, my late father, who also died of a cardiac event, by the way, he was a serviceman in the Australian Navy. Here is what happened. That also dates me a bit, doesn't it? I'm talking about what my father did in the 1950s. The vessel to which he was assigned was sailed out to a given point in the ocean. They were put to anchor there, and the men were instructed to line up on the deck, form up, facing a given direction, and to put on these sunglasses, which they did because that's what they were ordered to do. Of course, there was disquiet. And by the way, this is a story that when my father told my mother about it, she rolled her eyes, refused to believe it, and put it down as one of his flights of fancy, which he was known for, among other things. It turns out that the story is absolutely factual. The Australian government denied this ever occurred right up until very recent years. However, it is now a documented fact. Anywho, the men stood on the deck on that day. They waited, as they were instructed to do, and then without warning, the Australian government made a deal with the British government to have their men, the Australian men, observe a test detonation at a given distance. I'm not going to say anything else other than people are free to connect these dots up in whichever way they like. I've chosen to connect the dots in a certain way. I've come to an acceptance of that. That's how it is. That is why I'm so hot, I guess, on doing the best that a person can do to live the best life that they can live in the best way possible to reduce the risk that any given person with a gene set that's not predisposed for any reason to problems will have a sudden problem. I'm glad you sat through this. I'm glad I got to the end of it. Not an easy video to make. Especially not a video to make in a calm and rational fashion based on the information I've just given you. Appreciate your time. I hope that helps some people perhaps understand some of the aspects of some of the things that I say in my videos ongoingly a bit better. Join me next time when probably someone will be wrong on the interwebs, because that doesn't look like slowing down, does it? See you then.